Okay, I've waited about 20 minutes. These things are finally dry, so they can stand up, and they're just fine now. What I'm gonna do is put these cross braces on. See how it has those originally? Then underneath here, there's cross braces too. It's gonna hold the seat together. So, let me see. What you're gonna do is inside of here, just above this brace, that's where you're gonna need to put glue. So it should go like right around there on both sides. You need to do the same thing to this other one right here. Okay. So it should be on both sides like that. What you can do, if you're lucky and it stands up, then that's great. If not, then get someone to help you hold it up if you can, or lean it against the board or wall or whatever you gotta do. Let me see. You can see it better. Make sure these braces are towards the inside. You don't want them on the outside, they need to be towards the inside, pointed towards each other. You gotta take these again, the flat side, that's what's going towards the glue. Oops. So even when it sets up straight, I still can't do it without knocking stuff over. Okay, let me see. I actually need a little bit more glue, so it's falling down. Yeah, you might want the glue a little bit higher than normal because it does tend to drip down when you stand them up like this. Okay, so put that inside there, and you just pretty much try to line up the edges as much as you can, like this. So the squared edges of the clothespin that's in there right now, that should line up with the outside edges of that. Do the same thing with this one. The flat side goes towards the glue. Just press it together, and then try to line up the edges as best you can. This is like one of the easier steps in my opinion. And it did take about 20 minutes for the other glue to be pretty well dry and firm. Okay, let me see. Now that's done, I'm able to put on the seat part. What we're going to do for the seat, you're going to need 5 of these. Try to get 5 that has like a smooth top on the flat edge, because that's going to be part of this visible seat right here. And this piece right here, how there's a bigger indentation right there on the clothespin, that part is going to end up on top of this brace right there. So you'll eventually end up with 5 of them on here. When you glue them, I suggest doing the outside ones. First put those on the outside edge, then try to line one up as best you can so it looks centered, so it looks like it's pretty much in the middle, and then do the last 2 after that. And you can kind of adjust them when you first put them on before the glue dries. So then that way it'll be like this, so there'll be like slight gaps in between them all. But what you don't want them like all over to one side like that, or like this. You don't want big gaps and crooked ones, and you don't want it to look all lame and messed up. So first you just put the 2 outside ones all the way to the edge, as as much as possible, then try to center one and then put those. So that's what I'm going to do right now. When you put the glue, you can just put it all the way across this thing. It don't matter if there's little spots where you're not gluing that seat, because all this dries clear anyways, so it'll be fine. If you can avoid it dripping down on the front of there, you're better off, because later on if you paint this thing, it's harder to paint where the glue is. It's still possible, but it's easier if there's no glue where you're painting. Remember these big gaps right here? That's what goes on the brace. Then just barely tap it down. You don't want to press too hard, because remember I just glued that cross brace, so it's not even dry yet. Whoa. I totally meant to do that. Okay, let me see. How these go? Alright. These things, you're gonna need 2 more of these. And they're gonna be this brace that goes right here, if you can see it. That's what actually it's gonna hold the arms, and later it'll hold the back of it together too. So the glue is gonna go right here, and then it's gonna go right there on the top edge of that brace, and it's gonna go right here on this flat part. These are gonna go right there like this. So the bigger, thickest part of the bumpy edge, that's gonna be towards the top. The bumps face inwards. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. Try to do the best you can to line this up so it goes straight up and down. Should be pretty even with the with these edges, the brace thing that it's touching. Should line up so it feels pretty flat and smooth. But it is pretty important to get that to go straight up for when you connect the back to it later on. Okay, so if you move it now, because I'm trying to get it done, just be very easy with it. Now I'll move on to the back. See, this is the back so far that we glued earlier, like that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these other 3, I'm going to glue them in here. Remember, you need them a little bit down. That way you'll get this design like that. So the edges will be higher. So it'll end up like that. Let me see. If I had a tripod, this would be easier because I wouldn't have to hold anything up. You're going to glue them like this, okay? So there's going to be gaps in between them. But it is much easier. Remember, you just need a little dot of glue for each one. Don't worry about lining them up to the little gashes in those things, because not all these clothespins have the same indentions in the same areas. Just make sure you line them up so they're straight up and down, so it'll look good. That's what actually matters. And then just press on them just a little bit, not a lot, because you don't want to detach the other things. Then it should look like this. Make sure they're pretty even with each other across there, across the bottom, and that they're straight up and down, not crooked. Yeah? And that's how it looks on the back side. And now we gotta wait another 20 minutes for this to dry before we can attach the back to there.